16 says I just whipped your ass.
Yes! You just made the list!
Brock Lesnar.
And hello, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Shurvine.
And my name is Joshua Plummer.
And Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
And normally, we would wait until we'll have a couple of weeks to, sort ourselves out. But for some reason, WWE decided to put a pay-per-view on New Year's Day, on a Saturday. So here we are to review WWE, nicely named, I guess, Day One.
I can't wait until Royal Rumble, day 30 or 31, whatever they're going to call it. But hell, it could be worse. It could have been on Christmas Day, again, like Raw was. Was it last year or the year before?
Oh, yeah.
That was stupid.
Yeah. To be fair, at least when AEW put it on, was it Christmas Day? That was pre-recorded 3 weeks in advance. So they're all during Christmas. So. But, yeah, it's a weird one. Because obviously, December was strange where we didn't have a pay-per-view. So it's like, we were in them weird, like, we normally have one last pay-per-view for WWE. But it's like, yeah, I think it was just... The last one, if you count NXT as a WWE pay-per-view, was War Games, and that was it for the year for us, for WWE anyway. So, but yeah, so we're back. We obviously slap bang into 2022 for more WWE viewing. First thing I got to ask you, we'll quickly just talk about the show because let's be honest, there was one big thing at the end that changed it all.
Although nothing really changed, did it, Steve? There was a big change, but nothing has changed.
Yes, in a sense that there was a new champion, spoiler, but it was from the usual suspect in a sense, let's be honest. So, headline of this will be that Brock Lesnar is now the new WWE champion. Purely for the fact that because Roman got COVID, their match was called off. He was slapped into the main event for a Fatal 5-Way and pretty much done nothing. Was pretty much taken out like he always is, comes in at the end, F5's Big E and wins. It's pretty much how it was, right?
Basically, we've done the review of the final match done.
There we go. Of course, when we get into that match, we've got a little bit more detail, but let's be honest, one of it felt shorter, but yeah. But let's be honest, this is what the show's going to be remembered for, right?
It will be remembered for that, yeah. So, although it did add intrigue, that last-minute change adding Brock Lesnar in, let's see how that dynamic changes. And it was also an opportunity for WWE to do something different. Nope. First few moves, German suplex, everyone teams up on Brock, spear through the barricade. We're going into more detail, so I'll hold off until we actually get to the match itself.
But yeah, it's going to be a situation of, it's going to be Brock winning it. Us feeling all sad that Big E was never really given a fair shot. But I think it was that, because obviously throughout the show they did do that. Like put some I think he done packages for Bobby Lashley, Seth Rollins, Brock, bigging them up to kind of everything was leading towards that main event. It felt like that anyway because they had to. It sounds like they had to do it on the fly because obviously this Roman COVID thing kind of blindsided them a little bit.
Or is it all storyline and we were being worked because Roman didn't want to work Brock in storyline?
Well, we can always use the old Triple H thing because, Triple H didn't go to SmackDown because he didn't want to work Tuesdays. Maybe it's a situation. Roman didn't want to be there because he doesn't want to work Saturdays.
And he doesn't want to wrestle Brock Lesnar.
Again.
Again.
I mean, I actually checked it. They put it up there. They've actually wrestled that'd be this. It would have been their sixth time they've wrestled in the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you are right in a sense. Yes, something different. Something... new champion, but it's not new because it's Brock champion again. So what's new? But yeah, it had a good. I thought overall it was a good show in the sense of pretty much the matches were pretty decent. I don't think the only one that was off was Drew match, but that's because that wasn't a pay-per-view match. But yeah, I thought some of the matches was pretty good. So and depending how you feel about Brock winning the title, will probably make or break this pay-per-view for you. But I kind of enjoyed it. Maybe I'm by myself on this. Did you enjoy it as a whole?
It was fine, but one of the reasons I've kind of fallen out of love of WWE and the product in recent years, this one being one of the main reasons, doing a pay-per-view, that's fine, but you don't really miss anything apart from, that happened, what's new, that was kind of expected. I know if you've listened to our review, the year-end review where we spoke very highly of AEW, and rightfully so, because they're doing a lot of things right at the moment. WWE need to kick up the arse, and this is a way to really shake things up. Seth Rollins or Kevin Owens could be a prime candidate. Or put the title on them, maybe, or really begin the road to WrestleMania on day one rather than starting it at the Rumble, because this just looks like WWE doesn't have a plan. It's just, let's just try and get a marquee name, just get a big name in there, try and boost ratings, which only works for a significant period of time, and that period is long gone.
Yeah.
No one's interested in it anymore unless you're very, very casual.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, you could sit there and say we are kind of casual fans of WWE now because we only watch the pay-per-views and we don't really watch the shows leading up to them, really. So
you don't need to.
No.
What are you missing?
It's true. It's like, I think that's why I don't mind the pay-per-view shows, probably for the fact that I could just go in there, watch it for 2-3 hours, come out, it was alright, and then leave. I don't have to watch, and it's only 2-3 hours of wrestling a month, so for WWE, that's enough for me. I don't have to watch the whole show, Raw, SmackDown, all that stuff. You don't need to. You said you're right. You don't miss anything.
No.
But anyway, but yeah. So yeah. Should we go dive a bit more into the other matches of the show? And
let's go in I can't speak today. Chronological order, shall we?
Yes. One thing, as always, quick note. Obviously, had a kickoff show. Cesaro and Ricochet versus Rich Holland and Sheamus. Sheamus bro kicks Cesaro, gets the win. I didn't watch the match as always, but yeah.
And Rich Holland got another injury.
Oh, did he? Oh God! It wasn't his.
Yeah.
It wasn't his legs, was it? Like that.
Wasn't his leg this time? Wasn't as bad, but he did break his nose. So he's not having the best of luck.
Well, to be fair, it's with Sheamus, so he should know about getting his nose broken. So maybe he'll wear the face protection mask. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, let's not talk about this match. Basically, Sheamus and Rich Holland win. Maybe it'll go into a feud between Cesaro and Sheamus one-on-one. Might be cool. Whatever.
I prefer Cesaro Ricochet, but there we go.
But yeah, but that's because Ricochet's awesome, and yeah, but we all know
Cesaro's
that.
awesome. Well, Sheamus is awesome as well, but
But I don't know. I didn't watch the match, don't again, but yeah. So, but Sheamus won pretty much. So, and Rich Holland as well. So, anyways, let's get into the main show. So, no surprise to anyone. What I was thinking was, like most shows, they kicked off with the Mr. Reliable in the sense of the Usos and the New Day facing off for the WWE Tag Team Championship.
The SmackDown Tag Team Championship.
SmackDown Tag Team, it's my bad. Sorry, my bad. But yes, this was a kind of match that, if when pay-per-views, you got to start flying two reliable teams that are going to have faced off before. You knew it was going to be like kind of fast-paced good. Yeah, but yeah, this was a good match, and I thought, but a good opener. But again, I think we talked about before we recorded. It felt I've seen better from them. It feels like they tamed it just a little bit.
I've certainly seen better from them. I mean, their peak was probably during the height of their rivalry when it culminated in the Hell in a Cell match. Very, very enjoyable Hell in a Cell match. I think one of the best in the modern era, if not the best. The crowd should have been a lot hotter than what they were for the hometown boy of King Woods. Whether it's most likely people have been out at midnight and not really gone to bed until like 4 o'clock in the morning and they're knackered. That might have played a part.
Yeah, everyone's hungover. Everyone's hungover basically.
Mm-hmm. Going in, Kofi got injured and attacked by the Usos, injuring his MCL. I think the match would have had a little bit more hype if they didn't have this match 2 weeks ago on SmackDown.
The New Day One, right?
New Day One, because the referee missed the tag from the Uso. So that caused a distraction. New Day got the win, and therefore the opportunity.
Shoddy refereeing there.
Very, very shoddy refereeing, but for the good guys this time, which makes a change.
But yeah, I mean, but that's the problem. It's like it's another problem. It's like we've seen this match so many times. There's probably better versions of it. So then that Hell in a Cell match was probably the height of it, right?
Yeah,
that was amazing. But yeah, for me, they felt like they're off the pace a little bit. In a sense, they felt a bit slower than they normally would. But it still had good moments in it. It had there was a bit where I think the Usos were kind of doing homage to their family. I think they've done a lot of Roman kind of homages that I saw.
Yep. To Rikishi, to Umaga, with a hip attack, or as Pat McAfee put it, ass to face. My God, he was really annoying for this show. He was really annoying, and not in a like heel heat way. He was like kind of like an excited fanboy. He wasn't playing heel like Jerry Lawler used to do.
Well, they kind of. I think they let him do what he wants basically, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But
this time it doesn't. I was not in the Pat McAfee mood at all.
No, I mean, I don't be fair. I did find it fun. There was a bit where, like, early on in this match where I think Kofi Kingston done a tornado DDT on the top, and it's basically like Michael Cole was like he was either on something or he wasn't paying attention. Where it's like, oh, he just done a DDT. It's like, yeah, he did that like 2 minutes ago. Did you forget that it happened? I just noticed that. It's like, okay, Michael Cole, you must have been not watching your monitor in that one. But yeah, good stuff. We had I think the best one I think was the bit where Kofi was trying to go for a Trouble in Paradise, ran into a super kick, and then I think Jimmy went to the top, hit that splash from the top. Just a near fall there that I think was best segment of the match, probably, except for maybe the finish.
Yeah, a couple of good close or false finishes in the match, which was a nice surprise here and there, but that's, I guess, all they could really do. They could really rely on. There was no real kind of work or working the injury to Kofi, or certainly not as much. If Kofi has an MCL injury, build on that. They did have a good hot tag for Kofi, for Woods. So he looked good. I hope he gets his singles push.
Hope so too. He deserves it.
But towards the end, really, it's the real big surprise was actually how it ended. You expect the kind of stereo frog splashes, which is what happened, and then Woods came in to make the save. King Woods was on the top rope, kicked by Jimmy, super kicks by Jay to Kofi, and they hit a 3D to end the match.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere for anyone. I mean, even before, I had to think, like, is this, like, I always thought they were from, we looked it up because I have to double check, or Josh looked it up. Yeah, it was like, well, they're both basically from New York, the Dudleys, right?
Well, Dudleyville, but kayfabe, you know.
Yeah, but, come on. But yeah. So like we're checking, is there like some like significance here? It's like no, they just decided to do a 3D. But to be fair, I did like the finish because it was different. Like you're expecting the splash to be the finish, but no, they went for a 3D. Like, oh, that's pretty cool. I thought that was pretty cool.
They couldn't do the splash again because that was meant to be the finish. Well, supposedly for the false finish before Woods broke it up. I guess two gripes for this match, even though I thought it was solid, as you would expect from these two teams. The 3D was kind of out of place. Like, why did they do that unless they're just trying to push it as their new finisher? Secondly, so much focus on the taunting, especially promoting the T-shirt, "We are one," or "We are the one."
Well, they understand with marketing. If you can't say it enough, it'll stick in their head, eh? But doesn't mean it's half
like really
annoying.
Shoving it down your throats, but. We are one. There's all I could remember is the 12 Stone song.
Yeah, we are one.
Yeah, the Nexus. And there was a guy with a Nexus t-shirt behind commentary, and that's kind of what it reminded me of. So it's like, oh, the Nexus. Oh, another time WWE fucked up.
Yeah, thank you for that. Thanks for reminding us of that. But it is a better place. But I've got this theory that it's just like because of the Roman Brock not having a match, they have more time. So I wouldn't surprise you if that splash was supposed to be the finish, but because they have more time, they had to kind of improvise for the ending a little bit more.
Even then, it only had another minute to the match.
Yeah, well, like perfect example when we get into the next match, that felt like a match that was probably going to be shorter, but they gave it more time because they've got more time because of a certain match not being on the show. But yeah, again, you could say it's a solid opening. I've seen them do better. I think the 3D I know is a bit weird, but it's too cool to see the 3D because it's protected because it did win the match. So in that sense, that's good. Just no one kick out of that. I don't think anyone kicked out of 3D in its entire history, right? It's the most protected finish in all of wrestling. 3D, I'm sure of it.
Not that I can recall.
Yeah, I think I remember. Was it Billy Ray or Bubba Ray when he does interviews? He's just like, yeah, that's a protected finish. No one kicks out of that. So I respect that. So I like it in that sense, like. If that becomes their finisher, no one kicks out of that. That should be a move that you hit it, it's the end of the match. Like finishers should be. But yeah, I think it's a good match. But I've seen them do better. So anyway, next match to know about is a match that again feels weird to be on a pay-per-view, but they put it on a pay-per-view. Is obviously we've got Drew McIntyre going against was it Madcap Moss? Was it Madcap Moss?
Madcap Moss with Happy Corbin.
Worst jokes ever.
Worst jokes. I get it. It's for heel heat. Calling the fans fat and calling Drew McIntyre's prom date a goat. Ha. Although the goat one was much better than the fat crowd joke, but still bad.
Yeah, I mean, we had that. I gotta be honest, that laugh is a bit irritating, but kind of in a good way. That laugh by Moss.
It's meant to. It's cheap, but there we go.
It works, I guess. If you like.
The only reason for. First, I'll put it this way. So the two purposes, I guess, of this match were for Drew. One, still make him look strong, make him look good, because most likely he's going to be in one of the world title pictures, I imagine. That they need to get Drew on the show, otherwise there was no point this being on the card. Yeah. So he's going to be one of the favourites again to win the Rumble again, or he's going to face Roman, or he's going to face Brock again and get his WrestleMania moment, which he didn't really get against Brock because that was in the Performance Center, and then against Bobby Lashley he lost. But that was a welcoming surprise. And the second one is to, I guess, push Madcap Moss, not as a dominant force, but as a what's the word I'm looking for? Competent wrestler, because I thought he sold really well in this match. He took a big old chop and clotheslines, really throwing himself around, especially on the outside.
I mean, you could say Drew carried it a little bit, because I think, as you expect.
Yeah, you could say that, but that was a joint effort. I think Madcap Moss did do well selling, but as a threat to Drew, not really. If this was a 2-on-1 handicap match, and you could actually play the heat with it, because Corbin didn't really do anything. Corbin didn't get involved, he didn't distract the referee, didn't do anything. Otherwise, what was the point of him being there?
Well, to be fair, he had more heat with Pat than he did with anybody else in the match.
Yeah, because Pat said, "You stink, dude," which was I found quite funny, but still, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think for me, Corbin was like a blindside. He was like, "What? Mate, what the hell, man? Like, why are you saying that on live television?" But I mean, it has a good moment. So you had that. I always like seeing that. I called it a sit-down spine buster by Drew on Moss. That was nice. The big kind of spot you could say was when Moss catched Drew McIntyre midair. Obviously, he just got it though, because obviously Drew's a very heavy guy, so to hold that like in midair is quite impressive. But he got it and get the full waist slam. I think that was the best moment in the sense of
when that could have easily been botched, but he had ring smarts, went to the corner, delivered the toss. Yeah, so. Kudos to Moss on that one.
Yeah, it was good. It was good stuff. But then the match kind of ended with kind of standard. I think Drew hit the foot shock DDT. Moss kicked out. He tried to go for the Claymore. Moss got out of the way. But just when he was trying to get his bearings, Drew tried again, off the ropes. Claymore, 1, 2, 3, and he gets the victory. Obviously, we must remiss to talk about the segment. Obviously, we won't talk about it when it comes up, but to bring it up now is the segment they attacked him out backstage.
Mm-hmm.
That surprisingly got more. Normally, it would just beat the crap out of him. People pulled him out and pulled him back, like say, "Oh, stop it." But it got quite the bit with the chair around his neck and then using that thing to slam was like that's pretty.
That bit of scaffolding, yeah. Drew's head was in the chair, was very nicely done, very effective. That does mean either Drew's going to be out for a bit and he might be a return for the Rumble if they play that injury, or they're going to continue this rivalry, which they probably will do anyway. With Baron Corbin and Madcap Moss. I won't be surprised if they do a handicap match either at some point on SmackDown or at the Rumble.
Maybe it might be a kickoff, because obviously we all know they don't kind of count the kickoff. You can still have a kickoff match, but then still be in the Rumble. So when does that?
Still be the beginning of the card as well. I mean, Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens were when they had the last man standing match, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, that's true.
And that was the Triple H one. And Dean almost won the bloody thing.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
But again, that would have been a very welcome and nice thing, but no.
We don't get nice things in WWE. We just don't.
No.
But yeah, so we'll try to see where that goes. But anyway, so next match we're going to talk about is the WWE Raw Tag Team Championship match between RK Bros and the Street Profits. I don't know. My thoughts going into this was weird, because it's like you don't know what to really expect, because obviously Street Profits are awesome, because we know they are. And obviously RK Bro, obviously Riddle and Randy Orton being good as well. So in theory, you're expecting a good match, and technically it's a face versus face match, right?
Yeah, and I think Street Profits were trying to play heel a little bit, especially with taunting, like Montez Ford, like coming in, dancing around, and then getting a poke to the eye for it. So I think the story kind of going in was the team of Randy Orton and Riddle RK Bro put together a tournament, but it's just a tournament I wasn't aware of, and there's no brackets or anything I can see.
I remember hearing about it, but it wouldn't surprise me if it's like a one and done one night episode of Raw type thing. It wouldn't surprise me, because they do normally when they can do tournaments, they can do them well. So you would have thought they would have promoted that, but apparently not.
Another thing to mention as well, Mygos were there, the rap group. No idea who they were. Are they going to host WrestleMania this year or something?
Royal Rumble. I mean, to be fair,
Royal Rumble. Are they from Georgia?
I don't know, honestly, and I don't want to sit there, but I just don't know. It's this, but they always do this sometimes. But at least I have to admit, sometimes it was a bit annoying in some ways where they did early on in the match. They kept flipping back and forth between them, sitting in that VIP area.
Yeah, but they're not even doing like commentary or anything. Just sat there, and then they get in the ring. It's like, what are you doing? Get out. It's got nothing to do with you.
And also, it was weird because at the start of the match, okay, bro, like before even the match started, they were like, they're on top ropes. Like, isn't that supposed to be at the end of the match? Like, wouldn't that be like a good spot at the end? It's only it's just not a big deal, but yeah. So they were obviously promoting. Obviously, I think their theme song was the theme of the show, so that was cool, I guess. So we obviously had Dawson mocking Randy Orton. Never do that. It never ends well.
Nope.
We had what was it? Most of this match was as it normally is with the format with this kind of match, where Riddle's he gets in the match, but is the guy that's always being attacked like 2-on-1. He's in the match most of it, trying to get to Randy Orton, but he can't. But when Randy does come in, it's the hot tag. He goes crazy, basically like hits, he's draping DDTs, all that kind of stuff, and then you're waiting for the moment when he hits that RKO. I'm sure that's how this match felt,
Yeah, there's a fun moment with both Dawkins and Ford draped over the middle rope. In that position, Randy Orton looks at those, working the crowd, looks up, big old smile. We know what's going to happen next. Grab one, grab two, getting that draping apron DDT, signature of Orton. Of course, he goes for the RKO next attempt, which doesn't come about. Counters into a roll-up, building into a sequence where Ford launches himself very impressively, as we've seen before, going over the ring post, diving onto Orton on the outside.
It's always great to see that. Always love that spot. It's always great.
There's a frog splash attempt, which is missed. And not only do we see an RKO, but we have an assist from Riddle launching Ford into the air. And we know Ford can get great height, especially in those frog splashes. Riddle launches Ford up, straight into an RKO. 1, 2, 3. Nice thumbs up and kind of camaraderie between Orton and Riddle there, going, yeah, that was good. Nicely done. Let's keep doing that.
Yeah, well, to be fair, it's like I think I said this. It's called like a pop-up it's a pop-up assisted RKO, but it was it was a good finish because it is anything. With Randy Orton's back in that kind of mode he was a couple of years ago, where it's like he's the face and he doesn't have to really do anything other than just if he hits an RKO, he's going to get a cheer. So why not get creative ways to hit the RKO and everyone will be happy? So
there we go.
So I think that's why RK Bro works, because Randy can just be himself in the sense of he doesn't have to act any character work. He just has to be Riddle's the goofy one. He's the straight man, and it doesn't have and then if he just hits the RKO in a match, everyone's happy. So, but I feel like these guys can do a better match. Hopefully this is a feud that keeps going on, because it feels like they can do better. It's a good match, but I feel for more time they can do better spots and could be a better match.
Yeah, face versus face is always tricky unless both teams are over as hell. So Street Profits probably had to be heel. I think they tried to play heel a little bit more, but as baby faces didn't quite work.
No, but again, maybe I might be the only one here, but I do like some of these matches have some really good finishes. Like with a lot of goofy finishes WWE do, or screwy finishes. I have to admit, I enjoyed the 3D one, and this one was another one of those finishes we go, oh, that was a really cool finish to a match. So I think they done a good. I thought they'd done pretty well in that sense for most of these matches in Day One. I thought anyway. But yeah, so anyway, obviously we talked about the attack with Drew. We talked about that in the match they had. Next match we're going to talk about is the match that I think it was kind of the market, that and the main event probably, and probably Roman Reigns when that match was happening against Brock. But obviously we talk about the match between Edge and The Miz. Yeah, I think, wasn't this like the kind of match you like kind of, if you looked at a card, it would stand out. Like it would be like, yeah, I might be enjoying this match, enjoy this kind of match. Well, maybe it's just me.
Yeah, although it kind of stemmed from the timing of what AEW were doing.
Yeah, pure coincidence that all of a sudden we've got a shoot promo, right?
Pure coincidence. So this is the WWE equivalent. You know, we have the straight edge superstar and we have the rated R superstar against Miz and less famous Miz.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, to be fair, what I also noticed is that they didn't mention any, like, especially we're talking about when we get to Liv Morgan ones, right? They didn't mention any of the comments of them bringing up about releases. Because we're like, you didn't hear that comment of Edge saying, well, you're the reason.
No.
Or Liz Morgan when she brought up about Becky and all that. Like,
nope.
Didn't hear anything. So like,
didn't hear anything.
So you wouldn't know if we didn't know that happened, we wouldn't know it existed, right? So I get, because apparently it was all about if you just shut your mouth, people would acknowledge you. It's like, but that's not how the feud was, though, was it? It didn't start off like that.
Didn't start off like that. No.
But a weird build. Like it was just basically like the whole build is basically Miz is getting his wife is distracting Edge enough, like twice, so he can get the advantage, in the sense of hitting the skull crushing finale. But then for some reason they decided to put a random, was it when you wedding vows?
Renewing the wedding vows. It's like that. Don't get married in WWE or wrestling in general. It never works out well.
Never works, especially should have known. You got Eric Bischoff there, and when last time he was involved in a set.
That's a red flag.
No, this never ends well. And obviously, we're also at the Go Home show. We have a bit with the brood of Edge is back again with the goo, the black goo.
The black goo.
But you got to give Miz credit. I mean, if you have like renew your wedding vows, only in WWE you say, well, we're actually going to ruin that and cover you with black goo. Are you okay with that? Okay, I guess.
But Edge, you said you weren't going to ruin the wedding.
Should have known better. But yeah, I mean that. But I think it was just more of the story was very similar. Like I said, yeah, I earn respect through doing. You want respect. That's pretty much what the feud was. Wasn't it?
You expect respect, and I earn respect.
Yeah, it's pretty much what the match was. But yeah, so it's kind of
speaking of the Brood earlier, that was a cool entrance by Edge.
It's always cool, right?
Coming up through the fire, that was great.
It's always. I think it's always a cool entrance because it's just a cool thing. The Brood's entrance was always cool. Mm-hmm. But as you said, it's like a lot of people say, "Oh yeah, like if he just came down to the ring with that theme," it's like you can't do that. You got to have his main theme, right? It's got to be done.
You got to have Metalingus.
Got to have it. It's an awesome song. Every time you hear it, always. Anyway, but that's not into that. But obviously you had the Brood entrance. We had obviously start the match. We had Miz getting a bit overconfident. I kind of see it was like I think he got like early on he was getting like hip tosses and like putting Edge down, and he was kind of like going to the being very overconfident. Very playing mind games a little bit with Edge. It's never a good idea.
This is what Edge used to do really well and still does. There's quite a few cross-face attempts by Edge. It's one of his signature submissions. Doing that a couple of times. Miz working on the leg of Edge when I thought he would maybe worked on the neck because that's the reason he was out for so long. Skull crushing finale, counters, his it kicks. We had an execution on the outside. Head slamming into the table we saw a couple of times as well in this match and the following match as well. Edge goes into the ring post, chop block, because Miz has been working the leg in the match. He slaps in the figure four lock and also delivers a few slaps as well, which fires up the rated R superstar. And as we all know, the counter to the figure four leg lock is to turn yourself around to reverse the pressure.
I just love the way it's like in my notes I've put, he locked in the figure 4 leg lock and after Edge is now pissed, reverses the hold.
Yeah.
That's what it was. But then obviously Miz, I don't know if it's a homage to John Cena or just because the only person I know that locks in that thing was the STF. But one thing we've got to mention is Maurice was very involved in this match. Very distracting of Edge, especially in the early go-ins with the whole Edge was distracted for a minute, and obviously Miz pushed Edge into the ring, the steel. I think it was steel steps of the ring post or outside early on in the match. But yeah, she was involved a lot, and I was glad that the finish of the match wasn't the bit where Maurice hits. Was it Edge with? Was it a handbag or some sort of?
It was some kind of strike, whether it was a handbag or a slap, whatever it may have been. Going to skull crushing finale, and Edge kicks out. Maurice being there is actually getting heel heat. That's what she's there for. Whereas Corbin was just there. I mean, they got their heel heat afterwards, that brutal attack, but that's covering old ground.
Yeah.
And then we saw the welcome return, although very strangely delivered. The return of Beth Phoenix, aka Edge's wife.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. I was thinking that could explain why that's why she left NXT, because she's getting back in the ring. Maybe.
Yeah, is she getting back in the ring now? Part of me would go, yes, she absolutely is. But there's also part of me thinking, okay, most times someone's making their return, they usually run down, deliver attack, whatever it may be. Then music hits. But no, we just cut to her straight away before the music's even gone. And then she doesn't run, she just walks towards Maurice. Maurice is just running away very slowly around the ring.
Bit out of sync there. I think the guy.
So there was a little bit out of sync.
Guy doing the music must
so
have been.
I'm thinking, was Beth Phoenix injured at the time? Hence why either that or, I don't know, not contracted to compete.
Maybe.
Therefore couldn't do much.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't think she stopped wrestling in the sense, because obviously didn't she? Once she partnered up with Natalia one year. When the Iconics won the tag titles, women tag titles. What the one is it? Beth Phoenix and.
Oh yes.
So like she has wrestled before, maybe. But if you watch the Edge documentary on WWE Network, like she was helping him like get back in the shape.
Second Mountain, yeah, huge respect to Beth Phoenix.
Oh yeah, 100%. But so obviously that happened. It obviously distracted Maurice, was kind of like was like running away basically. The Miz, for once, he got distracted, turns around, boom. Spear by Edge, 1, 2, 3. He gets the victory, and we kind of end with Edge and Beth Phoenix looking really unhappy at The Miz and Maurice. So obviously we know what this is setting up, right?
Tag team,
mixed tag. Would that be at the Royal Rumble? Again, I wouldn't mind that, because it actually would probably be alright. It would be quite fun in the sense of
there's only so much you can do. I don't see this building till Mania. I'd rather Edge work someone else. But I mean, someone who's not in a feud at the moment, Edge and AJ would be great. That was something we were already teased when Edge first returned. Well,
to be fair, Edge is over NXT, gone against what's his name? The kind of wants to make a moment. I can't.
Is it Grayson Waller?
It might be that, yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, I think someone put a good point of that, just a little bit. It's like, you decide to do that now with NXT 2.0 when it would have meant so much more a couple of months ago, NXT 1.0.
Yeah.
But hey, what do I know? But yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, it's a match we've kind of been teased for ages, AJ, so. But, I mean.
I'd like to see that.
Here's a nice thing that might make you laugh. There was supposed to be a feud between AJ and Omos. But apparently the match they had on a live event, they cancelled it, or like they cancelled the feud because it was so bad.
Yeah.
So, but it also puts no offense to Omos, but if AJ can't get you to go to a match,
and he's phenomenal.
Yes, you got problems, man. So, but yeah, so I thought been up, but let's go on with that. But yeah, AJ Edge, love that. But again, I think it's because of the Miz's kind of pace and the kind of what kind of matches he does. It was a bit sluggish early on and through the middle, but it started picking up near the end. But yeah, I mean, to be fair, it's like Miz is at this point is like he's got that kind of guy that he still has that kind of thing where you want someone to beat the crap out of him, and we love Edge. So if we get to that point where beats the crap, The Miz loses to Edge again, that I'll be happy with that. So, but I feel Edge has had better matches and probably had better feuds, and the promo battles were good, but they were kind of overshadowed because one, we all know why they did that promo battle.
We all know why they did it.
Yeah. So I mean,
at least they referenced the interaction between CM Punk and MJF. It's like, the Miz, your name was mentioned to get a cheap reaction on other television shows. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah. They'll be like, oh my god, what are they doing? It's like, it's fine. I mean, I like it when other companies are acknowledging other companies. It makes the wrestle sphere, if you want to call it that way, just feel a bit more larger than just WWE and no one else. You know, I like that stuff.
Yeah, it's like it's an occasional kind of thing that, oh yeah, we know what's going on with there, but it's when it's down your throat every week. They're doing this, they're doing that, and it's like, we know what you're talking about.
I know.
It's not as impactful if you keep doing it over and over again.
Just acknowledge that we're wrestling fans and we know what's going on. So just
keep working on yourself and what you're doing, and you will grow.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, to be
stop worrying about everyone else.
Which for AEW do it too. I mean, Tony Khan can sometimes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what AEW have done. They're not doing it as much, I don't think, but they've had to recently because of all the intake. The Punks, the Bryans, the Kyle O'Reillys, Bobby Fish, Adam Cole. They're going to reference it at some point.
Yeah, it's like as they say in AEW, a low hanging fruit. It's got to be mentioned, right? But for a match, I think if they don't have that mixed tag at Royal Rumble, they'll have it maybe as like a special attraction match at WrestleMania, maybe, and that'd be fine. Because I enjoyed.
I don't want them to build up to WrestleMania.
Would you want it?
That's far too long.
Would you be like, leave it, get out of the way, and just move on?
Just do it at Rumble. Just do it at Rumble.
Okay, fair.
Then Edge can move on to something else at Mania.
I don't know. Win it again? I'm joking. I mean, we're all going for Drew, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Women's, I'd like to see. I mean, this is a nice segue into the next match, actually. I'd like to see Liv Morgan win the Rumble. I think all her previous Rumbles, apart from the last one, she's been eliminated within like 20 seconds. Like the last 2 or 3 before that. Which has been really unfortunate.
I would love to believe that's because of some storytelling that they were trying to build, but that's not. But I mean,
no.
But they could use it if they wanted to.
They don't do long-term booking, this.
I know, but I kind of have that, blind belief that one day they actually might like accidentally clock onto that it might be a good idea to do that, to want us to get invested. But apparently they like moments more than long-term storytelling. So, but yeah, again, I think obviously when we talked about our GSPL awards, so when we talked about breakout star, we did bring up you said yourself brought up Liv Morgan. And I haven't seen a lot of her work, probably for the fact, again, we don't watch Raw, we don't watch SmackDown, we don't watch that much. I've heard good things, but like this match made me go, yeah, she's real deal. She's good. I mean, Becky did a magnificent job to really make her highlight how good she is, I think.
Again, joint effort. I don't think anyone carried anyone in this match. I thought it was pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, when I don't say carry, I mean in the sense of like they were like... Yeah, okay, maybe I am saying that. My bad. But no, it's just for me, it's like I don't know much about her, like other than just she was in the right squad, and I've heard she's done good matches, but because I don't watch Raw and SmackDown, I don't know. This match was like, oh damn, she's good, really good. And if they wanted to push her, it wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. It'd be great.
Oh,
but yeah, I mean, again, it's like I think I just love the intensity and the confidence they're putting across, and like They had a match. This is the one time when they already had a match and they lose, and then have a rematch that works. And
a rematch that works, and good heel work from Becky saying literally no, trading insults. Eventually, Liv retaliates. They brawl with each other on the outside. This is the build-up. This is on Raw, I think, a couple of weeks ago. Becky puts Liv's arm in the steps, gives it a stomp, really injuring the arm. So now Liv is vulnerable. So now, of course, Becky, after much consideration, goes, "Oh, actually, yeah, I will give you a rematch when the babyface is hurt."
Yeah, because she calls herself the best big match Becky, but in the matches she's very wouldn't say underconfident, but just kind of very paranoid in some ways, because it's like she always gets distracted by what the crowd say. She got frustrated through this match, like kind of going, what can I do to beat her? And she's like, I think she even tried to cheat at one point, and it didn't work with the putting the feet on the top rope to try and get the win. Mm-hmm. But I like that kind of story where it's just basically Becky's getting really frustrated. She's like, Liv Morgan, I should be able to beat Liv Morgan. She can't put her away. And I kind of like also with Liv Morgan in this match as well, with the idea that she's learnt from the first match. She kept countering Becky's big moves, like when they actually say, "Oh, she's watched tapes," in this match, you felt, yeah, she probably did watch this match over and over again.
Done the homework.
I felt like that. I mean, yeah, we obviously had that kind of stuff as well, frustrating, that kind of stuff. We had I think the best spot she did was it sunset flip powerbomb. She did.
Very nicely done.
Yeah, I mean, I like that kind of stuff. Really cool. What was it? We had the stiff to the end with Becky trying to go with disarmer, and then Liv Morgan just got to the watch really early again, knowing that like where she is, and also knowing that she's how to counter that move. Got there really early, and Becky Lynch holds on until 4 on that injured arm of Liv, during Becky's frustration as well. So taking any little thing she can to try and get that win. I mean, one thing I've got to point out though, I forgot to say that right at the gate, Liv Morgan just literally launched herself at Becky Lynch, like proper intensity, and it's like, was it? It'll bring up later in the match, like smashing her head on the like the announce table, like proper. Everyone's like, yeah, this is like, yeah, I like this Liv Morgan, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I was behind Liv Morgan in this match for sure. Becky tries the same tactic again of trapping Liv on the apron and the rope, doing some strikes. First time around, lands the dropkick. Second time around, Liv is able to intercept it and move out of the way. We have several roll-ups, which are escaped. We've got the head slams, as you mentioned, as well. On the steps, we have Liv Morgan returning the favour, so delivering some stomps of her own. Attempting the arm breaker. And the rings of Saturn submission. Becky Lynch looks in trouble here.
I literally thought I was waiting for it. Actually, I think I know they say, well, don't be silly, but I was like, yeah, she might tap. I was actually really invested in this.
I was waiting for the screwy finish.
Yeah, but we actually didn't get it. It's like,
in a sense, there was. This is an odd one. So, Liv goes for the Oblivion, but is caught on the ropes once again into the manhandle slam.
I call it the bottom, but yeah.
Yes, it's a Uranagi. Yeah. But anyway, that's the end of the match, the finish of it. But during the 3 count, whether it was this a botch or was this deliberate storytelling? Because initial thought was like, oh, this is a botch, but then the booking kind of mind in me for, oh, okay, if that did happen, I would book it this way to rectify the situation. So in their first match that they had, Becky held onto the rope to get the 3 count, costing Liv the match. Hence why she asked for this rematch at Day One. Becky Lynch hit the manhandle slam, and she's too far away to put her foot on the ropes, but you can see her trying to do it, but then there's a little kind of hesitation there, going, oh, I don't bother. So was that a botch, like, oh, I fucked up, I couldn't get to the rope, and we're playing, oh, foot on the rope, or is that Becky in story looking for the rope and then going, actually, I don't need to cheat, I've got it won here?
I don't know. I mean, to be fair, it's just that feeling. For WWE, they do botch that, but then on that case, that's giving credit that they actually would use that in a storyline, and it's like clever little nuances there that would, like, oh, that's really cool. But then I don't know, they don't have a good track record, that kind of stuff. So I would sit there and say I would say it might be a botch, but it didn't feel like one in a sense. And also I think that was a really good finish, like, to the match. So if it was like an obvious, like, oh my god, like an obvious, oh, that's a botch there, but it was it as clear, or was it, because I didn't notice it, maybe.
I noticed it. You watch it back. Becky's trying to reach for the ropes, and then there's kind of like a stop and a hesitation. So she's trying to deliberately go for the rope. That was the plan. I think that's why the manhandle slam was on the rope itself. It was in the middle of the ring, and of course she can't go for the ropes because she's in the middle of the ring. But they use the Oblivion setup with the manhandle slam, and even though she doesn't need to put her foot on the rope, she does so anyway because she's the heel. But on this one, she's positioned a little bit too far away from the ropes.
Well, I think about it, it might be right. Because I think about it, because obviously she did use the ropes to win the first match. Maybe she's like, yeah, I don't need to now. I've got her. Yeah.
Yeah, so either she tries to go for it again and realizes she's too far away and goes, fuck it, I can't do it. Or did it be thinking, no, I don't need to cheat?
Yeah, or we'll obviously find out, we'll see on Monday. But if they bring it up at all, if it was a thing they bring up. But
if they bring it up?
Let's be honest, I doubt it. Because let's be honest, different match, but the same outcome. They never, was it that Finn Balor thing with the rope? Never bring it up with Roman Reigns? Never bring it up ever again. I'm sure he didn't.
Never brought it up at all.
So yeah.
It's just a freaky thing that happened.
Yep.
All right, and it killed the demon.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right.
But it might be they won't bring up again. Maybe it's just. I would like to, because again, that just make it just a bit more like character works. It's got a bit more layers, right? But yeah, good, great. I love this match really much. Like, I think Liv Morgan's. Yeah, I think if. Yep. Maybe it might be me, like, as people like, okay, but I hear Liz Morgan's doing well, but I'm curious to see. This match was like, yeah, if they just don't mess up any storyline and put, but like, she can go. She's good. She's done very good. So yeah. Maybe she might be like.
I'd be happy for this to be one of the main events at WrestleMania if they had this rematch. I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, I mean, but the funny thing is though, I've got this distinct feeling that we all know what. But I think the WrestleMania match for Becky probably be Bianca Belair because it's just the story works. I think for that, I know winning it twice. Yeah. I know with her winning it twice would be like okay, but I like the story of the idea that Bianca Belair, like, you took my title at SummerSlam, and haven't been the same since. So if I have another shot at that title at the grand stage, I'm taking that title, and it's just this good story there. And I think if you want people to not be like. Stu kind of pissed that you kind of decide to do a moment with Becky instead of trying to push Bianca Belair. Letting her have another big win at WrestleMania? I won't be against that. But Liv Morgan wouldn't be a bad shout either. I think wouldn't she be like kind of like a dark horse kind of pick?
Have Bianca Belair and Charlotte Flair gone 1-on-1 yet?
No, I don't think so. But then to be fair, well, she might be an opening now because obviously was it Toni Storm left. After she was out in a feud with Charlotte Flair.
Did she leave or was she released?
Apparently she asked for a release, so I think she left. And I haven't looked more into it, but I was like, that sucks.
To us with the gunk thing, I can understand that.
She's probably sitting there going, you know what, I'm just going to go back to UK scene and just, do my thing. I'll go back to that scene and just, but especially with the news of Progress is under new management.
I did not know that.
Oh, I only know it because on the what was it? We treats one of the people that would follow us on Twitter many years last year, but asked me to join like a fantasy booking thing, where it's like a draft thing where you pick like 5 superstars or 5 wrestlers from a list.
Yeah.
And then it's just you leave them, and then through the entire week you pick up points off them. Like the American draft, like when people just pick players and you leave it. And
I got you.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
So was Toni Storm like one of your picks or one of their picks?
No, there's nothing like that. But just like on that, there's a WhatsApp group, and from that there was the guy that is on that group that's taken over Progress, and he announced it on that. So that's the only reason I know about it. It wouldn't have come up at all. So
okay.
But I think it's really, really cool. It's like on a random WhatsApp group I joined, the guy that's taken over Progress. It's just announcing it on there as well. I think it's pretty awesome.
Interesting.
But actually, I would love to see Progress. But maybe that might be a thing where she goes, you know what, I might go back there. Go back there. Just go back to the UK scene, or just go back to NXT UK. Maybe I just can't. But it doesn't matter. But yeah, maybe there's an opening there for Bianca Belair maybe to go and Charlotte. But Liv Morgan, I would again. Would it be if you won the Rumble? I would not be against it. I would be happy with it.
Nope,
very happy. So, wow, I think this has got to be a record for us when it comes to speed. We're doing quite well. So,
Well, let's keep up the pace. Let's move on to the main event, which was, or initially, a triple threat match between WWE Champion Big E, Seth frickin' Rollins, which is now his official nickname.
Yeah, that's really annoying because it's like on the clickbaity titles on those wrestling news sites. Like, he's changed his name, his trademark. It's like, oh, what's he changed it to? It's like, oh, he just put frickin' in the middle. Okay, that's clickbait at the worst. But yeah, so
yeah, so. It was originally a triple threat match. Big E, Seth frickin' Rollins, and another catchphrase, which has been stolen because it's a Darby Allin thing, relentless. But that's on Kevin Owens' t-shirt now. That's my only gripe. Otherwise, I love Kevin Owens. And then it was, I don't know what the main story was, but Bobby Lashley was added.
Well, apparently destroyed them all. Apparently, from what they told on the mat, the build to the match, they kind of did a situation where he basically went against all of them and just destroyed them. And it's like, well, okay, if you beat them all, you in the match. I think that was the story. And Bobby Lashley being Bobby Lashley, just destroyed them, and he's in the match. You're like, fair enough, fair dues.
And then mere hours before the show, Roman Reigns on Twitter announced that he is tested positive for COVID. Obviously, speedy recovery, Roman.
Yeah, fingers crossed, man. Hope you get well soon, man.
Again, wrestling booker in my mind thinking, is this kayfabe? But most likely no. They wouldn't fuck around with that situation.
Well, no, that's a bit too on the nose, like.
Yeah.
But then WWE don't have like a. They have done worse things. That does feel a bit.
Yeah, they don't have a great moral compass and all that. Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
They did things about Roman's cancer.
Anyway,
so Brock's is added to the match just because he asked, or rather demanded.
Isn't that your biggest gripe in wrestling?
One of them is that, can I just have a rematch, please? I mean, yeah, Liv Morgan did that. Did ask for a rematch, and kind of rightfully so for being screwed out.
Yeah, so it's.
But Brock just getting it because he's Brock Lesnar,
and he smiles a lot, and he gets really intimidating when he get like. It probably wouldn't be surprised if Adam Pearce was like, you know what? After that very uncomfortable conversation I had one time on SmackDown where he was talking about deer and saying that I have a deer I shot and I put his head and I called it Adam. I would give Brock anything I want to, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Then obviously the way Sami Zayn was treated, even though actually Sami Zayn earned an opportunity, so surely Sami being in this match would have made more sense.
Yeah.
But then if you could do that story where it is Sami Zayn is added to the match and then Brock Lesnar attacks him, now he's in the match.
But then that'd just be like, again, it's like, that'd be if it was, they had weeks to prepare. I get it why they did it, because it's like, okay, Brock needs a match. He's on a main, so we've got to put him somewhere. Let's put him in the WWE Championship match. Yeah. I mean, I give him credit though. I mean, the build, I like the build up of everyone being like building everyone up for the match, as I said before. Like, like Seth asking everyone and kind of making it. From that alone, we should have known better and known the outcome of this match. But we thought they wouldn't dare put the title on him. Would they? And, of course...
New Year, something new. Nope. The big problem with Brock as well being in the match, you expect the expected. German suplexes. People tried to team up on him. They fail.
It's in every triple threat four-way he's in. It's the go-to tactic.
You're actually better off facing him one-on-one.
Yeah, pretty much.
You're going to have more success one-on-one against Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, I mean, I just feels like they're going through the motions, but maybe it's because it came out of nowhere. But yeah, I mean, I think for this one, it just felt like, I get it why he had it, but Brock being it's like, oh, okay. I mean, for us as prediction thing, pain in the arse as always. I mean, I remember you said like, you just about to go to bed, and I'm like, oh, they've changed the match. You're like, mate.
Typical.
Yeah, we had to rush that one back, didn't we? Trying to send the sheets out again. Mm-hmm. I hate it with WWE. It sucks, right? Why do they keep doing it? Stop it. Yeah. I mean, obviously, I think...
And the second thing is, I was about to mention as well, so not only is it the same old Brock, German suplexes and what have you, but the focus is not on Big E and how is he going to overcome the odds, as it should be if you're trying to legitimize the champion. The focus was, oh fuck, it's Brock Lesnar, he's going to destroy everyone, how is everyone going to cope? Which was the reason Bobby Lashley was in the match. Going, oh, he's the muscle.
He was the guy.
Oh god, and he destroyed everyone. But now it's like, no, that's irrelevant now, because Brock Lesnar's better than Bobby Lashley. I mean, okay, I prefer I prefer Brock Lesnar to Bobby Lashley, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, but to be fair, I love Bobby Lashley. Like the way they've booked him, I'm a sucker for his theme, just in general. Love it. I love the way they present him, Bobby Lashley, for the last year or so, like year and a bit. But yeah, I just felt like again, if you look about the match in general, it's like if you take away maybe one, I don't know how long was it. Like, it felt shorter for me.
It was 8 minutes long.
It was 8 minutes long. What?
8 minutes.
Jesus. I mean, I would have thought they would have added more time to it because obviously there's a match that we aren't going to have, so maybe add it on here. But
that was the first match I went to because I wanted to watch the main event first to see what they did with it. So I skipped to like the final 40 minutes of the match. Okay, that's going to allow at least half an hour for the promo, the entrance, and the match. So the match should be maybe 18 minutes. But it's Brock, so the match isn't going to be longer than 10 minutes at all. But the match between Morgan and Lynch hadn't even started. I'm going, okay, now I'm concerned. Because this match is going to have time, which is great, because it should have time.
Yeah.
This is an important big match, and I'm glad it had time. But once I saw those 10 minutes left, once all the entrances had finished, I'm concerned now.
yeah, it's going to be.
This is just going to be spot fest. This is just going to be Brock spam.
And to be fair, it was like, because they were go for this, just got the key moments in the match. Like, I literally, I normally take bits of my notes, but literally in this case, I've just copied all my notes because basically every bit was just talk about the match. You had start the match. You had Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins going against Brock, trying to take out Brock. I think Big E was going after Bobby Lashley. Then Brock basically done what he done. Took everyone to Suplex City. Then Brock tried to F5. I think he tried to F5. Was it Seth Rollins? But Big E came back in the ring and take out Brock Lesnar. Put him over top rope. Took him out. And then he was taken out by Bobby Lashley through that. I always forget. Puts him on his shoulder and slams him into the post thing. I don't know what particular. Was it a fireman carriage? And then just folds him into the post thing.
Fireman's carry. Spear to Brock Lesnar on the barricade, something we've seen before. We have the dive, frog splash, Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens. They have Brock on the outside. They try to put him through the. They're trying to put Bobby Lashley through the table using the steps, but Big E gets involved and delivers a Uranagi to Bobby Lashley, putting him through the table.
Yeah, I did like that bit. I mean, fair, I just like the idea of having Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens as a team, and as a continuous team, is interesting. I would actually enjoy that because that actually would be. I don't know, just it just would be. I think them two together would work really well. Maybe.
I think that's ultimately what they're going to end up doing. Because they're on Raw, they'll probably end up facing RK Bro at some point.
I would say WrestleMania. Because that would be a marquee match, and that at least you get amazing 4 great wrestlers in there. You're going to get a good match out of that. Yeah. But I mean, to be fair,
but not tag teams.
No, I know, but at least on
which is the problem with WWE, they don't have many tag teams.
No, I mean it's probably why we only put RK Bro in our end of the year awards and maybe the Usos, because the rest of the good tag teams, no bias, is in AEW. It's a fair assessment. But yeah, so we had that thing with the table. We had obviously, but then KO came back, super kick Big E. We got a double fold him back in the ring. Got a double DDT on Brock on this. Was it the bottom of the steel steps? Then we had they got back in the ring. Big E was able to fight back, but KO was able to hit his pop up power bomb or sit out pop up power bomb for a near fall. He went to the top, tried to get a I call it Swanton Bomb or Senton, whatever you want to call it.
It's a Senton.
Senton. But obviously Big E put the... this was a good spot here when he put his knees up, but then, out of nowhere, love this, was Seth Rollins hit a frog splash him out of nowhere, got a near fall with that, and then basically after this, Brock came in. Seth Rollins trying to go for the stomp or the blackout, what they call it now. Then Brock came out of nowhere, F5 Seth, F5 Big E. KO tried to stun him, didn't work. You had got F5
to him as well.
Yeah, then Bobby Lashley speared him out of nowhere near full. Actually locked in the hurt lock, that was pretty cool.
And they gave it time, which was quite nice. Will he tap? Will he pass out?
Yeah, he didn't I was waiting for him to power out. He's. I don't think anyone's came out of that lock, but power out of it.
No.
But it didn't happen. Obviously, Big E broke it up, hit a big ending on Bobby Lashley, but tried to go for the one on Brock. Counters, hit one F5, 1, 2, 3, and we have a new WWE champion. And it was like, I think it was like he was waiting for him to kick out, but it's like, oh, I think people are like, oh, what, really? And also, what makes it worse is that's the second New Day member he's taken the WWE Championship off. You could sit there and say, well, at least it wasn't like a couple of seconds, but it doesn't look good, though, does it? I mean,
no. And then you had the face-off at the end where Bobby Lashley is on the ramp, Brock Lesnar's in the ring. Okay, they're going to do that Rumble, most likely build to Mania.
And not build a story around Big E.
The boring option is Lashley winning, and then we have Lashley and Lesnar again. Have we had it again? Or we were meant to have it, weren't we?
Well, that's the match we all wanted, right? Was it? I remember it's like when
yes, but it's not what we want now.
No, I think the Big E one was just disappointing because I think in a sense of it's not his fault. He's just a likeable guy. He's good in the ring. He's been amazing for years. But the problem with his WWE title reign, it was obviously not planned. It was done for a cheap ratings pop, and it just fell out of the blue. And then I think someone said rightly. I remember him like, you kind of know when WWE are going to invest in you when they really change your character completely, but they never really did with Big E. It was just new music, but it's kind of the same old New Day Big E.
Is it really investing when they change character, or is it just like, oh, we have to... It's more just to shake things up. But the problem is they shook things up for no reason. Or they shook up the wrong things.
I just think that briefcase thing, it's like we were like thinking, okay, cool, long-standing thing on the briefcase, maybe turn it into something, maybe have a thing, but like, no, they just done it for like a random Raw, and then... random Raw, because it was all.
Yeah, they got rid of it like a month later.
Yeah, it's like they're bigging up. If I remember, like we're looking at.
It was a record for the women's that lasted a good 2 weeks. It's usually on the night of the show.
No, I was a shock. It's like, wow,
Christ.
I mean, good God, just turn that briefcase. I've said it before 1,000 times. Turn that briefcase like the New Japan did with that US or like the G1 winner, or like I think that was it Kenta was doing when during the pandemic with the US title briefcase. Yeah. Make them defend it. Make that important.
Make them defend it. It's also a big threat throughout the year. So what if they cash in here? Or it's something which catches us completely off guard. They've got this great match here and then, oh fuck, we forgot about Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
You've got that. But they don't do it. They never capitalise on it. They used to. They don't do it anymore.
I know, but it's like you use the briefcase as like defending a title and then able to build up credibility for the winner who eventually wins. It won't feel like this is strange. You'd be like, yeah, he's probably if his character's interesting, he deserves the title. Yeah. But they don't do it that way. They do it for a cheap moment.
I mean, they did it once recently. That was the last time round with the men's briefcase when Otis won it, and that's when they realised, oh fuck, we fucked up.
Yeah,
with Otis. Oh, we're going to cash it in on the tag team division. Why would you do that, you moron?
Well, to be fair, that's probably why he mate turned on him. He turned heel, went with Chad Gable, and basically got a bit of his beard trimmed, and now he's gone back to being a monster again, kind of.
Yeah,
but. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel there's so much potential with that briefcase. You never do anything with it. But yeah, I feel for Big E. It's another Kofi situation. He won me. It was nice for moment, and then it'd just be back to being the mid card. And it's like, can you just, losing a title sucks, but can you at least do a story with it? Like,
yeah, and Big E was pinned as well. It's not like he didn't lose the title. He actually lost the title.
Yeah, anybody else? Like, come on, like anybody else you had in that match? I mean, if you pin if you want to go for Bobby Lashley, Brock Lesnar, let him get the pin. I know then it'd be like another reason for him to be pissed with Brock, and they might set up a match.
Yeah, well, they didn't even tease the showdown between Bobby and Brock. They didn't have that. I thought they might even tease like Owens and Lesnar, because Owens has always wanted that match with Lesnar, as far as I'm aware.
I think so. Not quite sure, but
yeah, I
don't know. It's just I think for a lot of people, it rubs a lot of people the wrong way. Because Big E gets the pin clean again, and it's another New Day member. That's So we just have to hope when Xavier Woods, if he wins the WWE Championship, just don't go against Brock, because you're going to get pinned. You're going to lose the title to him. So
or win the Rumble, go against Brock, and he's got New Day in his corner. So that's quite fitting, actually.
Yeah,
if Kofi and Big E have both lost because of Lesnar, and then King's there to rectify things come all full circle, and then if you want to do a rematch and play the threat, like I'm gonna destroy the New Day, like I'm gonna take the WWE title from all three of you, and play that threat. Yeah, and plus, that completes the treble of the New Day getting a shot at the World Championships, or every single one of them holding a World Championship.
Yeah, I mean, it could be done. I mean, again, but that's giving credit. There's a story there that they would do, because it's like there's the Big E thing. There is a story there. If you wanted to lose a title, there's a story you can do where hit break like similar to maybe like Hangman Page, where it breaks him. Like he's Mr. Positivity, and then he loses title the way he did. Then it's like it becomes like it breaks him, and then it basically becomes not Mr. Positivity, Mr. Negative.
Mr. Pissed Off.
Yeah, or like make a story of it, and then it's like his rise from the months to build up to get back to who he was. If they did that
leading to a heel turn, I think he'd be a very effective monster.
Yeah, well, there was snippets, so I think he needs it as well as character-wise, because I think it's like he's got that look where it's like he doesn't, like, maybe when he's healed, don't speak much, and just be like, give the look of like, I'm pissed. Because in the ring is amazing, so it could work. But I don't know. That's probably giving too much credit. Probably going to go for the cliche, loses, he forgets, move on, go back to his old spot, and then we'll just get Brock versus Bobby probably, or Brock versus Roman Reigns, title versus title. That
I've mentioned before, but I'd love to see the New Day triple threat.
Well, yeah, wouldn't mind that. I mean, what? But like, would it be for world title? I don't know.
Don't know.
But maybe
number one contenders.
Well, it would be interesting, but I'm interested to see if maybe it might be one day, but I don't know if it's will happen. I don't think it's the same as the Shield though, because the Shield was different. I think the New Day would be a little bit different to do that match, but
yeah, unless you had like a Big E like heel turn, but then how would you separate Woods and Kofi, unless Woods was like really all high and mighty, is like, I am the king, therefore you do this. Not sure. That's the only dynamic which would need to. I mean, you've got time to build it in like 3 months if you want to do it at WrestleMania. But how would you go about that, splitting that rift between Kofi and Woods? I
mean, I don't know. I mean, at least unless you use it, Big E as, I know he's on the other show, but use that as like a catalyst, like, like maybe Kofi's on, like Big E's there, like he's down, he lost double championship, and it's like both sides of the coin where you got Big E go, Kofi going, I understand what you're going through, if you need help, and then you got maybe Woods maybe coming off, going to say, well, mate, your power positivity, let it go, and it's like Kofi knows, and it's like a rift that way, maybe you could do it that way, like,
yep.
But again, that's because again it would be an interesting. Because again, it would just have them three are great together. They can make it work. So maybe that's a way you can do it that makes it interesting. But that's not the story they're going to go with. They're probably Brock Lesnar is a new WWE champion, and let's be honest, they're probably going to go for there's going to be a champion versus champion match at some point.
No, and the year is 2016. Oh wait, no, it's 2022.
Yeah, seems to be a common occurrence, WWE. It's unusual for them to do that, not. But
2017 or whenever the last time it was, but still, that's a long time of the same button.
I know, but except for that, I mean, puts you the wrong way with Brock winning again. I mean, maybe I'm on my own with this. I thought it was a really good, solid show, personally. I think it's like, except for maybe the Drew match that did feel a bit. It was like I enjoyed most of the matches here. I think they were pretty good.
There are no bad matches, but what are you really missing? Not much.
No, I guess if you watch
same formula.
I guess if you watch AEW, it's like that's a standard that you want high standards. WWE shows don't feel as I don't want to say like exciting anymore. But I think for me, it's because I can sit there, I can watch it. If you just like watching good matches, they'd have this on the show. I like some of the finishes on here. I think some of the finishes are pretty unique and fun. The Brock thing can only be annoying if they don't do anything at Big E afterwards, and it doesn't. But some people want that Brock Bobby Lashley match, so some people might be happy with this finish.
A match we should have had months ago.
Well, it should have been the match he should have had instead of going against Roman, but we've had this discussion many times. But yeah, so I don't know. I think if I was so yeah, that's our thoughts on day one. We'll just end off with what's your like not final thoughts because we kind of brought that up in the beginning of the show, but like what grade would you give like it came maybe like out of 10? What grade would you give this show?
Just about scraping a 6, probably below average, really below average.
Fair enough. I would give it 6.5 just because I had a bit more enjoyment in the matches. Maybe it's just me. And I guess in the Brock thing defines you on this. If you like Brock winning, it's a good show. If it doesn't, then it kind of bums you out, basically. So, but yeah, 6.5, that's fair enough. I mean, WWE, you have a level now, right? You know, the only show they really try and put a lot of effort into is WrestleMania. So you kind of wait for that, or the Saudi Arabia shows that I still haven't watched. And I don't think I will. You missed the best Hell in the Cell cage match, but it's the sacrifices you have to make when you don't want to watch a show like that.
No.
But yeah, so yeah, that's a new review. I don't know how much more we can talk about. I think we've gone through quite well most of the show. Yes, obviously, normally this would be once. You see us, you'll be with us once a week, once a month, but you'll be with twice this month because obviously we've got the Royal Rumble at I think 28th. Was it the 30th? January 28th? I don't know. When that is, I don't know. It's good. It's end of the month, basically.
End of the month in January. Yeah. There's also lots of other events. There's New Year's Eve with NXT, and there's Wrestle Kingdom, all 3 days of it for New Japan. I'm most likely not going to be around for those, but have fun with those, Steve.
Yeah, I'm thinking it might be a unique way of doing that. The idea of like reviewing all 3 of those shows by myself in our comment format. I love New Japan and I love Wrestle Kingdom, but it's not appealing, let's be honest. So no. I'll probably find a creative way. I was thinking of maybe doing a live stream on my Instagram, our Instagram maybe. I'll be watching it because it's on 11 in the morning, so it's a reasonable time for us UK fans, maybe not for the Americans, but us UK fans. We get to watch it at a reasonable time. Not like the US shows where we have to wait until 1 in the morning. So, it's
and if you do end up doing the stream on Instagram, Stu, what is the stream you can catch it on? What's the handle?
Yes, if you search the Josh and Stu Wrestling Podcast on Instagram, I have tested this streaming thing before and it was kind of fun. I think I was watching the match between Bryan Danielson and Kenny Omega. That was fun to watch. So I might do that because again but I don't know yet, but I think doing the format we do, I don't think will work because it's like it just wouldn't work. But yeah.
But anyway, whatever we decide, keep an eye out on the Instagram, keep an eye out on our Twitter at Josh and Stu Pod. If you have any formal inquiries or just want to say hello, on Twitter as well, you can also drop us an email at joshandstewpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, exactly right. So. Don't know what to say really. I mean, check it out. We'll let you know about the Wrestle Kingdom, but when it comes to WWE reviews, we'll be back for the Royal Rumble. Should be. It's always fun, the Royal Rumble in some ways because the Royal Rumble match 9 times out of 10 is kind of fun. So that'd be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, so we'll be back for that. But anyway, not more to really say than I've been Stu Irvine.
And I've been Joshua Plummer.
And hope you're all having a good start to 2022. And we'll see you at Royal Rumble. Have a good start to the year. Bye, everyone.
Happy New Year.